I'm sure by now the majority of you know that I fucking love conspiracy theories. I love to just spread a conspiracy theory's cheeks wide open as far as possible and just dive in and get to the meat of it and really see what it's all about. See if maybe there's any truth to it. I just love it. And luckily my nipples have been tickled thoroughly thanks to a brand new conspiracy theory popping off online about Wayfair trafficking human beings, children, through their website. I haven't been this interested in a conspiracy theory since the Berenstein Bears versus the Berenstein Bears multiversal collapse theory. This is an incredible conspiracy theory, and I can't wait to share it with all of you and present my findings. Spoiler alert, this is a pretty fucking wacky one. This one's like believing in reptilians or believing that Jesus Christ died because of Fortnite or something. This one is fucking insane. So let's go ahead and start at the beginning. This conspiracy theory developed on the home of intellectuals, Reddit. It was blown open by someone on Reddit presenting some evidence that these expensive cabinets had names that matched missing children's reports. And from this, people started to just spiral out of control. Wow, oh wow, this is fucked up, this is weird. Why are these cabinets so expensive? And why does it have the name of a missing child? And there's cabinets that look identical with different names on them that all correspond to a missing child report. And it's not just cabinets, there's also pillows that are like $10,000 that also have the names that correspond to a missing child on them. And the question arose, well, why are they so expensive? And when there's other products similar to it, why are they like $30 versus the $10,000 for this one pillow with this weird name on it? So people then started to connect the dots. They started to see the strings that hold the universe together and really piece together the truth. And they came to the conclusion that people must be sex trafficking children through Wayfair, obviously, as any rational conclusion would lead you to. And when I first heard it, I was like, yeah, it's kind of fucking weird, right? Like, why are these cabinets so expensive? And a pillow, I'm not paying $10,000 for a pillow unless it's coming with 15 strippers or something and a nice giant fucking birthday cake. I mean, why is it worth $10,000? And then I decided to look into it today, and it goes deep. This is a fucking rabbit hole. I mean, Tom Hanks comes into play here. Tom Hanks is apparently like the Thanos of Wayfair sex trafficking. Like, it's weird. So first and foremost, for those that don't know, Wayfair is a website where you can buy furniture and just like household shit. Typically supposed to be affordable things, but recently people noticed that there's this extremely expensive shit like this here that has a name that matched a missing person. Or so they thought. It turns out the majority of the people that they've used in their examples in this conspiracy are children that have been found, and a lot of these kids, they themselves have come forward and said, hey, look, I'm not actually missing.
And then he gonna put his little, why is your caption even that? That don't even make sense. If you posting motherfuckers who actually missing, you trying to get motherfuckers to share the shit, what are y'all talking about? Y'all all sound stupid talking about why am I mad? Because I'm not missing. Fuck out of here.
Now, a lot of people in the comments on Twitter and on Instagram that I've seen were actually attacking the girl in the video I just showed you, saying that she must be in on it. You know, she must have just broken out of the cabinet she was sold in and is being forced at gunpoint to say these things, which is really weird to just start attacking her for being upset that people are perpetuating the idea that she was literally sold into sex slavery. That's a pretty fucking bold thing to say. That'd be something that'd make me mad if people were like, hey, Charlie, I remember when he was 14 years old, he was sold into sex slavery. I'd be like, hey, wait a minute. No, it wasn't. And that's kind of a mean thing to say. That just didn't happen. But people are so wrapped up in this conspiracy theory, they don't care that it was just outright disproven that this girl is not missing nor she was sold in the cabinet. They just fall into this delusion and this crazy amount of denial where that doesn't matter. No. See, in fact, this actually proves our point because she's clearly being held on a UFO that ordered this cabinet from Wayfair, and now they've mind controlled her to say these things, so obviously it proves that we're right and all kinds of crazy bullshit. It's like a shitty B-movie plot. And it's not just this girl that was revealed to not be missing nor has ever been like sold in a cabinet. A lot of the popular pictures that were circulating, you could look up those kids and then find stories about when they were found earlier. Like they were never in a Wayfair, shipment facility or anything like that. Like this kid here with this pillow. People speculated that the pillow must not have any stuffing in it. It was stuffed with the kid's bones and blood. When it turns out, no, this kid was found quite a while ago. And now just because a lot of the kids were found and were never shipped through the evil laboratory of Wayfair or anything like that, it didn't stop the conspiracy theory. That didn't halt it in its tracks. People still believed it. And that's fine. Maybe there was isolated cases like, oh, we were wrong here. That doesn't mean the whole thing's wrong. Just because these were false doesn't mean it's all false. But it does because, you can actually prove exactly why it's all wrong. We won't even go into Wayfair's official statement, we'll get to that in a second, but let's just use some common sense here. I believe the statistic is 1,250 missing kids are reported every day, 500,000 every year, something like that, in that general ballpark. That's a lot of fucking names. That's a ton of fucking names. You could probably find some like Xbox Live gamertag level names in a sample size that big. Like fucking XX Shadow Slayer went missing a year ago. And you could find like an XX Shadow Slayer Wayfair pillow that's $9,000, I bet. It's a lot of names is what I'm saying. So it's not impossible that these companies chose a random name that happened to correspond to someone who went missing. And a lot of them are very common names. There's one that was circulating on Twitter that was Annabelle. Annabelle's a super fucking common name, and they just took that Annabelle listing of an expensive cabinet and matched it up with an Annabelle that was missing. You know, that's not a good connection. It's a very common name. That's clearly something that could happen on accident. But then there are those like really specific ones like I showed you with that boy and that pillow. But even that kid was found. He wasn't missing and he wasn't ever stuffed inside of a pillow like some kind of crazy fucking Frankenstein experiment. He was just found. So it's not unfathomable that these random names they chose just coincided with kids that were missing at some point. But why were they so expensive? That's the biggest question. Why the fuck are these mediocre items so expensive? And I found the answer, or at least the answer the government, the man, wants us to see, I suppose, if you still want to subscribe to the conspiracy. A lot of resellers, what they'll do, when the item is out of stock, they jack the price up to an absurd level that they know nobody's going to try and buy, so that way they can keep it listed, as opposed to saying it's out of stock and taking it off listing. They jack the price up, they hold its spot until it's back in stock, and then they drop it back down. That's the tactic I saw a lot of people talking about that actually use Wayfair. That's what they were saying is commonly done there. I think that's a dumb practice, and Wayfair themselves have cracked down on it, it seems. Wayfair's statement says, you know, that obviously it's all wrong, but we did take these down because the names and the pictures don't exactly match why they're as expensive as they are, and the practices or some shit like that. It wasn't a great statement that did nothing to help their case in it being false. It just made it even more confusing because they just took the shit down, which made a lot of people believe that Wayfair was admitting guilt and hiding something. But according to a lot of people that use Wayfair, it's not something uncommon where they jack this price up to a point where no one's going to buy it just so they can hold their listing. And that does make sense. It makes a lot more sense than fucking pedophiles using Wayfair to sex traffic children. Are there sex trafficking rings from like extremely wealthy, powerful people? Abso-fucking-lutely. Yeah, there's a ton of evidence to point to that. But I highly doubt they're operating through Wayfair. That's like saying these people are using, fucking Twitch to start trafficking children through an XQC chat. You know, it doesn't make any sense. Why would they be using something like that to do some shit like that? They'd be using the dark web or something. They wouldn't be going on fucking Wayfair just in the public's eye right under their nose like some kind of comical supervillain trying to fool everyone by doing everything in broad daylight. That just wouldn't happen. These are public listings. Someone could have accidentally ordered one of these expensive items. What's going to happen? They buy this cabinet and then all of a sudden they have a kid shipped to them. They open the box and then bang, a kid pops out and they're just fucking jump scared. Oh, whoa. Where's my cabinet? That's just not how it would happen. In fact, I actually tried to test this myself. I went on Wayfair with every intention of buying one of those $10,000 pillows that matched the name of a missing kid, and I was like, shit, this is going to be expensive as fuck. I'm either going to get a terrible pillow or I'm going to save a kid's life. It's worth it. But I couldn't place the order because the fucking item didn't exist, which made me more convinced that, yes, this is probably just a common practice where when the item isn't in stock and it's not there, they just jack the price up, hoping nobody places an order or tries to, and wait until it's back in stock to drop it back down, just so they don't lose listing. This is another thing I saw develop today, actually. A lot of people saying that the CEO of Wayfair has resigned. Well, the problem with that is it's not true. He hasn't resigned. There's no reports of him resigning. Unless this Twitter account right here is like working with the, NSA or some shit, the CIA, and he's got some insider information, then I don't know what to tell you. But according to every possible fucking source, the guy has not resigned. He is still the CEO of Wayfair. So this is just an outright lie. Now we get to the main course. Everything I just told you about this conspiracy and all that shit, just an appetizer. Now it's time for the entree. And trust me, it's not raw. This is coming out well done. Tom Hanks, the puppet master. Beloved actor? No. Demon. Fiend. Tom Hanks has been roped into all of this because of one old Instagram post. This right here. It's a picture of a glove next to some chalk that says SRC USA or something similar. That's what it looks like. And this post right here is a very suspicious one. Now, admittedly, this is a weird fucking Instagram post. I don't know why Tom Hanks would just take a picture of a glove on the ground next to some fucking street chalk or anything like that. But it's correlation to everything going on here. People, Reddit detectives and Twitter experts, the analysts, they were able to crack the code They realized if you type in a lot of the item numbers onto a Russian search engine called Yandex, it brought up pictures of children. So if you typed in SRC USA and a bunch of numbers, it brings up pictures of children on a Russian search engine. So they speculated these were pictures of the kids that were being sold in those cabinets, or being sold with the cabinets. It varies depending on who you talk to on whether or not the kids were actually stuffed in the furniture or just came with it or something. It's, as like some kind of package deal, like batteries included or something. It varies on who you talk to, but that was the speculation. You type in this shit, you do it on the Yandex, and you get an image of what you're buying or some shit like that. And Tom Hanks has this really weird picture that does have something that looks like it says SRC USA. Except in this case, it goes so far above Tom Hanks, it's laughable. This is bigger than Tom Hanks. This goes all the way to the top. This incriminates the construction and utility workers. You see, SRC USA is construction utility code for Underground Service Alert. It's to let other workers know that, hey, at this location, with these, the white brackets in chalk there you can see, there is something that runs underneath the pavement, whether it be a power line, cable, water, it doesn't matter. There's something running underneath there, so just be aware. You can find this shit marked on streets all over the place. It's not something unique to Tom Hanks. I don't think he went out there with sidewalk chalk and wrote SRC USA to brag and then threw a glove on the ground. It's a stupid fucking picture. It's a weird, like, creepy little picture. The caption was like, give me a high five or something. I don't know. It's a weird picture. Not going to argue that. But that right there is just an extremely common thing that you can see probably outside of your own house right now if you want to experiment. It's nothing unusual because it's actual just construction utility code. And that pretty much sums up Tom Hanks' involvement because of that one Instagram post. I don't think it goes any deeper than that I could find. But just because that's wrong doesn't mean the whole thing's wrong. I mean, Tom Hanks could still be this evil mastermind behind all of it. I don't know, he could pull in the strings. Maybe he has equity in Wayfair. I couldn't tell you. But in this case, I don't think Wayfair is selling human beings through their website. I don't think that's what's going on here. But again, just because everything about this conspiracy theory is wrong doesn't mean the conspiracy theory's wrong, It's 2020, baby. We believe anything, whether or not it's factually true or not. Who gives a fuck? And that's about it. So yeah. You all know how much I love conspiracies, reptilians, flat earth, the revival of JFK Jr. and his upcoming presidency announcement, 5G, Wi-Fi, reprogramming gamer DNA, fucking microchips hidden in our spaghetti. I love all of it. But what if I told you there's a new and growing conspiracy that makes all of these look rational? I'm talking about the secret space program. The secret space program, to break it down, is basically a group of people who believe that they were at one point selected by space Nazis to fight intergalactic threats, and they are augmented super soldiers that have lived on Mars for 300, 400 years in some cases. They command high-tech mechs like Gurren Lagann shit straight out of an anime. And it's people who genuinely believe this. They have their own seminars, the meet and greets, they have their own community. I was recently made aware of this thanks to a YouTuber named Oki's Weird Stories, a fantastic channel, and a lot of work went into a video he produced where he talked about and infiltrated this conspiracy group. It's truly amazing. We watched it on stream, and I'll play clips of that now. But I'd encourage you to watch the full video to get like the absolute all-encompassing experience, because I can't do it justice. There is so many layers to this onion, not even Shrek could get to the bottom. It's fucking amazing. But my god, I was blown away by what I was seeing and learning. So I've of course done my own research on it now, and it is even better than I could have possibly imagined. The secret space program is where LARPing, fanfic, and main character syndrome all collide into this singularity, this fucking supernova of entertainment. It is amazing, and it wouldn't be nearly as enjoyable if people didn't actually believe it. From everything I can see, this isn't some kind of joke movement or anything. Like, of course you have the fun ones like birds aren't real, but you all know, and not to spoil the surprise or ruin Christmas, tell you Santa's not real, the birds not real movement is made as a joke. And I know that's kind of blasphemous to say, but in comparison to the secret space program, which is taken very seriously.
Person for the White Dragon Society. With me here is Chodoin Daikaku. He's the head of the world's martial arts societies, and if necessary, and in an emergency, he can summon up an army of 200 million people worldwide.
This guy? This guy looks like a sex doll. Is there a human being here? Or, like, the quality's so bad I can't even tell. Is this flesh? He can summon up an army of 200 million people, and he's the head of the world's martial arts committee?
Here on my right is Alexander Romanov, who is a grandmaster of an Illuminati group that that claims to have started the French, Russian, and American revolutions.
Wow.
Imagine if someone told you they lived out the plot of the movie Total Recall. That they thought they were living a regular life until one day they recovered memories of being a secret agent fighting an evil organization on Mars.
I'd say that's a fucking good man.
Who is an Akashic reader, healer, and telepath. And he also remembers being in a facility that trained his shapeshifting abilities, in which I was also a participant of. He recalls
Can you still
experiences as a
shapeshift?
super soldier in Kruger and has done training missions with zombies and vampires.
Well, there was one kid.
There
that
were
turned
zombies
into
and
a turtle.
vampires
There
on
was
Mars?
another a female that
Surely we could
turned
cure
into an eagle,
zombieism.
and that was used for surveillance. I myself was a blue wolf.
Upon realizing this, I started to formulate a plan. What if I made up a story about being in the secret space program?
Well, that's
get
all
onto
they
James'
do.
show
Yeah.
and share it
See,
with his
I mean,
community.
that's easy.
And that's how I finally found an angle that compelled me enough to make a video about this topic.
You don't join the SSP, swine.
So if my
You
goal
are
still sounds too
chosen.
vague to you, I set up a criteria for 2. Get onto a major platform
We'll
within
just
the
say you're part of the
community as a
Blue Wolf
whistleblower and share my
shape-shifting crew.
experience. I developed
Easy.
this criteria after thinking what's required to become a SSP whistleblower. Before World War II, the Nazis, who were interested in mysticism and alternative views, searched the planet for fantastical powers. They found Maria Orsak, a medium and leader of the Vril Society, who channeled Nordic and Draco reptilians who offered the
Holy shit,
Nazis
this
the
is a lot.
schematics behind anti-gravity technology in UFOs. The Draco reptilians
I
told
always
the
knew
Nazis
this was
about ancient alien
happening
technology hidden in
somewhere.
Antarctica, and in 1938, the Nazis traveled there. And by 1950, the Nazis were on Mars.
The new Schwabenlanders didn't want to support Hitler at the end of the war because they considered him an
Let me catch up on the lore myself here at base 211. The new Schwabenlanders. Was that like a real division in the Nazi Germany, or is that just what the secret space program made up? The new Schwabenlanders. No evidence. Bro, we don't use the E word when we're talking about the secret space program. We just feel it. They have unlocked memories, dumbass. Evidence. Fuck. What are you? Huh? Some kind of science believer? Idiot.
insane. In the
This
final
guy has lived for
solution.
330
So it was
years on
already
Mars.
split.
In
Okay,
SSP
you don't
lore,
understand.
The Nazis capable of space and
facts
time travel
yet.
became the Fourth Reich.
You don't have
And they
the
pissed off
lived
to Antarctica and
experience.
space while refusing to proceed and began an aggressive expansion out into the solar system, setting up
So is the
bases
entire
on
secret
moons
space
around
program
Saturn,
Nazis?
The Kuiper belts, and etc. Capable of time travel, the space Germans also traveled back in time to settle on planets around the galaxy.
In their own lore, they made themselves Nazis? Why? So they're part of the new Schwabenlanders? Alright, give me 1 second. I'm gonna go say goodnight to Tiana. And then maybe interrogate her to see if she's part of the secret space program and she's lying to me.
Offering services to help recover secret space program related memories. At the top of the list was James, and for $200 USD, I could book a guided meditation regression session with him.
Draco reptilian humanoid hybrid, and then I think I also got like Anunnaki. MA.
Do you know who you might have been in a past life?
Have you heard like the Black Samurai Yasuke?
You were a samurai?
Yeah. Dude, hold on. I'll show you something. Check this out.
That's pretty dope. And I was a gladiator.
Oh no, that's awesome.
Oh,
The
wow.
goal here, I want us
He
to
could
get
learn
to
a lot from
hyperspace.
James.
Let's put a gold sheet thought into it. Just imagine what do you think?
Imagine
would be
Oki just
behind
becomes a
that?
real
So
believer.
let's start with that, and tell me what you see.
I see Kevin Spacey, or his clone.
Paul Serene, he was on the governing council of the ICC. So his clone is Kevin Spacey.
We're in a gymnasium.
Wait, what?
It's
So wait,
me-
is that part of SSP lore? Kevin Spacey is like a figurehead in the secret space program? Oh, okay, so Monarch is responsible for human trafficking, sex, mind control, experiments, and chemtrailing. I knew it. Fucking Kevin Spacey was behind it all, that son of a bitch. Evil bastard thought he got away with it. Didn't expect us to be hot on his trail. Luckily we broke away from Atlantis though, so we cut the connection. But Kevin Spacey himself is a clone of Paul.
We're in a, like, I think I see.
Oh,
the
nice. Thanks for the rubber
YouTuber
feed.
Mr. Beast.
Today, we will be planting 20 million trees.
Okay, so they're probably programming him. So he's the guy that was near to give away a bunch of free stuff on the videos.
Yeah.
They must have looked into his future and okay.
So a few days later, I traveled to Las Vegas and landed at around
What?
12 p.m. after a 4-hour plane ride.
Man, he went all in for this video.
I'm here.
Traveled
in
fucking
Las Vegas
5,000 miles for a
Cosmic
45-minute
Consciousness
interview.
Disclosure 5D events.
This is going to be an exercise in patience for me.
No, this is going to be an eye-opening experience for everyone. We're all going to leave here thinking we're super soldiers from space.
The golden nugget.
And experienced this up on the starship.
Is
I've
he the
been there
only one
several
here?
times. I spoke with the commander, the Arcturian commander, who I am connected to.
That's how we connect?
This concert, this Travis Scott concert, where 800 people were injected with these drone mosquitoes. You know, you see
Oh,
that,
wow.
they can go around.
So that's
and
what
inject
happened.
people.
Jesus Christ. It is... Whoops. It is so hard to believe that people like that exist, man. Not only exist, but have other people that believe them. Like, they have influence over other people. That's fucking wild. Think about that for a second. I've said this a million times. No matter how stupid you are or how outrageous your beliefs, you will always have an audience thanks to the internet. You will always find people that agree with you, support you, worship you, or just at the very least provide camaraderie in a positive echo chamber because you are connected to everyone at all times through Twitter and Facebook. So that guy who thinks at the Travis Scott concert 800 people were injected with, what was it? Some super space mosquitoes or whatever. He's got 100 other people in his Facebook group that all think the same thing. Wild.
We get to go to How to Become a Jedi Warrior.
I'm excited about that one.
That should
That's
be,
gonna be
yeah, that should be
amazing.
productive.
Unfortunately, when we showed up to the How to Become a Jedi Warrior workshop, no one was there, not even the speaker, so it was canceled.
We just got in here. We have no idea.
Oh man, what the fuck? Well, they're too busy having sex, I
I
bet,
just gave up.
on Mars.
Quantum spoon bending, parentheses, bring your own spoons. Close parentheses.
And the quantum spoon bending lesson was underwhelming since, instead of learning how to bend a spoon with our minds, we were instructed to physically do it with both hands.
What the fuck? It's real! Oh my god.
While walking around the venue, I noticed that James had sent me a text inviting me to his hotel room for an interview. Suddenly, a wave of anticipation and euphoria washed over me. This was it. Finally, after several months,
He ends
the
up
moment
getting
I've
like
been waiting
Harvey
for arrived.
Weinsteined by James.
I ran back to the workshop room, found Night Docs, filmed the interview, and to get to Jay's hotel room as soon as possible.
Night Docs,
Time
go
was
with
of
him.
the essence.
Keep him safe.
Therefore, being late
Oh
was
my
not an
god.
option. Night Docs, who was behind me, was still trying to attach
super
his
soldier's
camera to a
unpredictable.
gimbal, which would not fit. By then, any nervous anticipation I felt leading up to this face-to-face sit-down had completely dissipated.
Yeah, you
I
just
was
get to
calm,
come in here
knowing
and
that I was more than prepared
some
to
shit
speak
up.
about my time in the secret
Have some
space
fun.
program in a convincing manner. The interview lasted 1 hour, and here's what happened.
Okay, so my name is Oki. So it started from before I was even born, where they genetically enhanced my DNA. And by the time I was 6, I was put into a special program run by Monarch. I was under direct tutelage of Pulse Rain, Kevin Spacey's clone. There was 12 children.
oh my god. Luckily James didn't pick up on that. He just got the lore wrong. Paul Serene is not the clone of Kevin Spacey, Okie. Kevin Spacey is the clone of Paul Serene. Oh my god, the whole operation just went tits up. There's no way James didn't just... Oh my god, there's no way James didn't pick up on that. Oh my god. He blew it. He fucking blew it. SSP's on his tail now.
Who were trained
He's hunted.
directly
He's
under
a hunted
him,
man.
including myself and the YouTuber Mr. Beast.
So
every method they could to use MK Ultra programming and to create killing machines. And I was able to just look at a photo of a target and make their head explode. Because I mean, there was billions of dollars spent on each and every single one of us. I particularly liked
that sounds like Kevin Spacey's research.
I liked my my 2 daggers. I had a form of EMP that I could take out there.
He's a Reddit assassin.
In my past life, I was
on Mars.
Yasuke, the Black Samurai.
did any of your clones ever get changed into a zombie?
I had a clone.
I like how that's one of James' core questions. Have any of your clones been changed into a zombie? James makes it sound like he doesn't even know what the fuck a zombie is. He makes it sound like it's a state of mind. The clones would have to die first, James, and then Kevin Spacey and Paul Serene would have to do a fusion dance in order to bring out the proper necromancy on Mars at the Knockwaffen to revive them, for them to be zombies, James. Jesus Christ. He's getting lost in his own sauce. He's not even following his own rules in the secret space program.
That clone actually was fighting zombies and vampires. And there was also Yetis that they were fighting.
What about vampires? Do you recall any scenarios fighting vampires?
He just said that, James.
This particular thing.
He's killed 1,000 of them with his bare hands.
Is that they can't help but count. From what I remember, most clearly is
he
that
wanted
I
that
do
so
have
bad.
many different clones of myself with used pretty much as like kamikaze pilots.
Typically, at least what I heard, black people require a different protocol of brainwashing.
Time flew by, and I was struck by the effortlessness
the super soldier is many things, but a coward he is not. He will ask the hard-hitting questions. He will go where no other space program super soldiers will.
Story which I crafted. I spoke for 1 hour.
He actually
with ease
fucking
and
said
told my
that.
story so coherently. I was playing a role, and even though I created the role, while I was performing it, it was like a switch in my brain went off, and everything I said felt real.
That's
That moment, I
100%
managed to
true.
delude
That's how it
myself
works.
to speak matter-of-factly about
That's
being
why these
trained
communities
by Kevin
exist.
Spacey's clone along with Mr. Beast. Whistleblower testimony that they've heard on James's channel so far. And one person even said that they cried the whole way through the video. So that's that.
Oh my god. Hold on, I want to read that. I'm so sorry you had to do that. Thank you for your bravery. Oh man. God, like, to a certain extent, I feel bad for them. Not in particular the secret space program, like them too, but in general, people that truly believe these things, like wholeheartedly separate themselves from reality to exist in this new made-up world. It is sad to a certain level. God, that was amazing. This is criminally underrated for the work that went into this. Dude flew out from Canada to Las Vegas to a secret space program meeting in order to have an interview with the #1 figure in secret space program super soldier lore. The 330-year-old ass-beating, ass-eating super Goliath James. There's a fascinating controversy brewing right now around whether or not a sun bear in a zoo in China is actually a real creature or a man in a bear costume. I'll go ahead and let you form your own opinion here, because that's the beauty of being an individual with your own thoughts. Let your eyes tell you the story, before I give you the real story and hit you with the cold water of the truth. So, you can see that the creature is a bit odd. It looks like something out of Spore. By far the weirdest part about it is the bear's ass. It looks like a Krabby Patty. It actually looks like Homer Simpson's lips. So this is the video that popped off. You can see him standing up, kind of sizing up the crowd, looking at everybody like he's about to go shake them down for their lunch money here. He's looking kind of menacing. He's got his mouth open, but he also just looks super sweet. Even gives like a little wave with its flippers, because it doesn't even really look like it has paws. It has like these tiny little fucking flipper things. It's adorable. Like, seeing the video, I think, makes it a little more clear that it's probably not a man in a bear costume. It's just a really weird bear. So when I first saw this story, I actually thought this was an older case, because I do remember something like this happening about a year ago, but it turns out that was just for a comedy sketch. That wasn't a real thing. This is pretty new from what I can tell, where people really thought that it was a man in a bear costume, myself included. Those pictures really do look like something that you'd find at like a furry convention, like some kind of costume somebody made. It doesn't look like a real animal. It's got more loose skin than like my elbow. Like it is a wild creature. Apparently sun bears are just the smallest bear species, so when it's standing up, it looks like just like a person. It's not, you know, some kind of hulking bear that you're used to seeing. Like, this looks like some shit out of the Berenstain Bears, right? Like, it doesn't seem like a real bear. So when I saw this, I was like, it's a cut and dry case of a man in a bear costume. This must have been a joke. But it turns out, no, this is like actually what sun bears look like and how they act. So I'm going to go ahead and play you the stream clips where I tackled this case head on, and I learned a lot about sun bears. You hear about the Chinese zoo denying the claim that one of their bears is a man in a bear costume? That's not a new story. I remember that from like a year ago. Because I've definitely seen this before. And I think it's pretty obvious that this is a man in a bear costume. Like, this is like Hank Hill level ass. Shit looks like a pack of hot dogs. No bear has a tuchus like this. That's definitely a man in a bear costume. Apparently sun bears look like that. What the fuck is a sun bear? Sounds like some kind of mythical creature out of Dark Souls. Maybe a sun bear costume. Well, okay. Because it looks like they do pack the same ass. Shit's out here looking like grill marks. It's just the same guy. There's no such thing as a sun bear. It's just a couple of guys that have a costume, and it fooled the zoologists into thinking it was a real animal. They got weird tongues. Weird, well, really weird everything. But I don't know, even still, this face doesn't look natural. I mean, we just looked at its tongue, and the tongue, like, was, like, hanging way out to here, basically. I don't know. I'm not convinced. This is convincing. This angle. Why would they lie? I don't know. Just to see if they could... Just to see if they could, I guess. Sun bears, the smallest bear species in the world, are generally the size of a large dog. Oh, wow. The folds help protect the bears from predators as the looseness allows the bear to turn around in their skin and fight back if a large animal like a tiger were to get a hold of them. You're telling me there's an evolutionary purpose to all these fucking ass folds? That's wild. And it's got like sea lion flippers. Like it's like the most incomprehensibly smart thing ever, but at the same time super fucking stupid with the solutions that it finds. How are we gonna protect us? Just give it a lot of ass skin, so that way if something bites our ass, we can move around a little bit. What about horseshoe crabs? There's so many fucking creatures out there that have just been condemned, forsaken by evolution. Like the, what's the actual name of the blobfish? It's a really embarrassing species. But the reason it looks so gross and looks like a goofy face when you bring it up to the surface is because it literally implodes. So, like, as you take it out from its, like, high-pressure environment, it just implodes. But that one's pretty embarrassing. Evolution did it dirty. A lot of sea creatures are like that. There's one that's called the pinnacle of evolution, the perfect species, because it hasn't evolved for, like, actually 20 million years or something crazy. It's the, what is it? The something worm? hagfish, not a worm, hagfish, yeah. This thing. And not because it's like perfect, like you're not about to see handsome Squidward or anything. The reason it hasn't evolved is because it just literally doesn't need to. It found the perfect solution for its environment. So this is the hagfish. And what it does is it's just this gross looking little worm thing that when it's either threatened or anything like that, it just excretes really, really thick slime. Super slimes. It just Nickelodeon slime times whatever's after it, and it clogs up its mouth and it kills whatever attacked it. The slime gets clogged up like in their gills and everything, and they die. It's not worth killing, and it's such a fucking hassle, and it's actually really adept at surviving, all because it can super slime. Got a little sidetracked with hagfish once again, as is known to happen. Hagfish are a remarkable species of bewilderment. But back on the topic of sun bears. So, it is a real sun bear from everything I can tell. You know, of course, I'm not a fucking zoologist here. I can't say beyond a shadow of a doubt that it's a sun bear for sure and not a man in a bear costume. But based on everything that I read and everything I researched, it's most likely a real sun bear. But I really love to suspend disbelief for a moment here and play with the idea that it's actually a man in a bear costume. What would be the goal? Let's start looking at this in a philosophical way and start speculating. If it is a man in a bear costume, or if it was a man in a bear costume, what could they possibly gain from that? Well, I've been racking my brain on it. So let's picture a dystopia where most animals are extinct, right? We're losing tons of animals all the time. There's a lot of species that are on the brink of the extinction. So let's just toy with the idea that all of them go extinct. Like that famous streamer clip, The government's lying to us, the aliens aren't talking to us, the animals are leaving. All the animals leave, right? So now we've got nothing left. That's very bad for business at zoos. So, what if they spent a lot of resources and a lot of time developing very convincing costumes that look realistic enough to fool us into thinking we're looking at the legitimate species? So when there's no animals left, they can still fill zoo exhibits with, people in costumes that'll work part-time when the zoo's open and then, go home. They'll clock in, clock out in their costume, right? So it's species you're used to seeing in zoos, bears, giraffes, and all of that, and the costumes are really convincing, and maybe there's animatronic components to it, and this was their first attempt at trying to slip it in there to see if they were at a point where they could fool us with the costume. I don't think that's the case, but what if? What if it was? This was their first foray into like a alpha test, seeing if the prototype's good enough to get people speculating on if it's a real bear or not, or if it's convincing enough that everyone assumes it's just a real sun bear. It's just an interesting thought experiment. What could be the goal if it is a man in a bear costume? And that's the only conclusion I can come up with. Of course, it is not a man in a bear costume. It is most likely a very real sun bear. But who knows? You can't trust anyone. Not even bears. So, yeah, I just thought this was a fun little topic to go over briefly. That's really about it. See ya. Hi, Gavin.
Hi.
It's not often you play with children on this game. This is a fucking man's game. For just casually playing.
Doesn't it look like the Omegas from the past?
What was that?
Doesn't it look like the Omegas from the past?
What's Omegas from the past? Is that like Skylanders?
The Blockbuster. The skin. The Blockbuster skin.
Does what looks like the Blockbuster skin?
You think the Blockbuster looks like it's from the past?
Oh, do you know what Blockbuster is? Was?
Yeah, the skin.
No. Before it was a skin. Before it was immortalized in Fortnite. Do you know what Blockbuster was?
What?
It used to be a video rental service a long time ago. Back before the Fire Nation invaded, people watched their shit and played their shit on cassette tapes. They were called VHS. You ever heard of a VHS?
I've heard of a cassette tape.
Okay, well back in like the 90s, Blockbuster was the go-to shop for free handjobs and renting those tapes for your VCR player. VCR stands for Video Cassette Recorder. It's what they use to play these ancient Aztecian devices.
Yeah, but don't you think the Blockbuster skin looks like an old skin?
It's probably made that way since Blockbuster is so old.
I think it's has to do with time travel, with this time warps and.
Do you think there's like a timeline where Blockbuster never went out of business? Or do you think it was always destined to fail?
Probably destined to fail.
I got them both. We're not destined to fail here today, don't worry. I've got us.
Yeah, but I think this Blockbuster skin, I think it has to do with the past. Like
It wouldn't, yeah.
I think it kind of like went through time and space, and that's how it got here.
You know, I'd believe it. You never know what Elon Musk is doing these days. He probably invented some type of time travel device with the sole purpose of resurrecting Blockbuster like it's never been seen before.
I'm legit talking about Fortnite.
Oh, I'm sorry, I got a little... I was thinking too big scheme. Do you believe in Elon Musk?
No.
Yeah, he's like Santa Claus. I don't even know if he's real.
Nobody knows if it's real.
It's a fucking weird mystery. Do you think they're gonna release like an Elon Musk skin, maybe? Maybe that's what the Blockbuster one's hinting at.
They have a Blockbuster
Maybe.
skin?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I haven't seen it. For all I know, that's just a myth as well. Yeah, let's start putting together this conspiracy. Are you, like, recording this for, like, a Fortnite conspiracy Mythbusters type deal?
No.
Okay. You might want to start, because I think we're about to crack this shit wide open. With my knowledge of the past of Blockbuster, and your knowledge of the present Blockbuster, we can combine forces and create, like, this puzzle and solve it at the same time. That's the kind of shit that keeps me awake at night. Like, what is Blockbuster doing these days? That shit could be evil. Like, maybe it is still around, and we just don't see it anymore. Like, it's faded into the upside down.
Maybe it's faded into Nike.
Dude! Nike? Now you're opening up a whole new can of worms. Is there a Nike skin in this game?
No.
Oh shit, maybe we might be barking up the wrong tree.
There is socks that look exactly like Nikes.
Holy shit.
You see that picture right there?
Where?
Pay close attention to that picture right here. Look at it.
This is going insane. He's having he's having a psychotic episode.
He's probably slapping virgins.
What picture,
right
Gavin?
now.
Right here.
Gavin.
Right in front of your face.
There's no picture there, Gavin. His universe is crumbling.
What? Are you insane?
No, Gavin, there's no picture here. I swear to God. What do you see on your screen, Gavin? What's the picture there?
There's a painting.
Of what?
Like a Wild West place.
What the fuck? Why can't I see it?
It's like a farm, but it's not Wailing Woods, or it's not Anarchy Acres or Fatal Fields.
Dude, what the fuck? There's nothing here for me, man. Dude, I think Blockbuster's hacked my goddamn eyes.
Are you serious right now?
I'm 100% fucking serious, Gavin. There is nothing there on my screen. Right now, you just look like a fucking lunatic talking about a painting that's not there.
There's a painting there.
Hold on. Wait, I'm getting some insider reports. I have to turn my graphics up.
Right now.
Hold on. Jesus Christ, Gavin! I've entered the fourth dimension. I see the painting.
You do?
Yeah, gee, why is it so fucking dark in this house? It all connects back to Blockbuster. Holy shit, Gavin, what if this is even bigger? What if... Do you know Toys R Us?
Yeah.
Dude, they just went fucking bankrupt. What if that was Blockbuster?
Bruh. Did they actually go bankrupt?
Yeah, no, dude, Toys R Us is kaput. That shit is in the ground 6 feet under. Pour one out for the homies. Dead.
I need to go watch Ninja or something to happen up my day.
Yeah, I feel that, man. You need some fucking eye bleach. Get that, pawn... He does the pawn... Pawn? Pussy or something?
Pawn,
what is it?
pawn.
Yeah, that one.
Pawn. Do you really want that?
Do I really want what?
Do you really want to have the Blockbuster as a skin that you wear?
Yeah, no, I'd like to. It's better to be the right hand of the devil than in its wake, Kevin. Do you fear the devil?
By the way, I'm creeped out.
Dude, I fucking feel that too, man. The craziest part is Blockbuster was real. Like, I'm not making that up. I used to go to Blockbuster when I was a kid. You never knew what you were going to get when you popped open one of those bad boys. Sometimes you get a condom, or sometimes you'd actually get the movie you paid for.
Should I look up Blockbuster right now?
Yeah, just don't look it up at 3 a.m. You don't want to Google Blockbuster at 3 a.m. That's the witching hour.
It's only 9.
You got plenty of time then. Yeah, it should be safe. Man, I have such shit weapons. I've been hardly paying attention.
Bro, this is actually a thing.
Yeah, I wasn't kidding, man. I used to go to them.
Make an appearance on
This
the
was a
podcast
thing.
before Jmac.
I
I don't
agree.
Oh,
mind
bro,
waiting.
there's
I
legit,
have already waited
like,
80
pictures
episodes.
of it closing down.
There used to be one right near my house. I can vouch for it.
Bro.
That shit died. Dude, they fucking executed it. They took it behind the barn and put it down.
You know what that looks like? You know what that looks like?
What?
The like card thing. That looks like Best Buy.
Yeah, dude. I think Best Buy was like made in Blockbuster's image. Like Jesus died on the cross for our sins, and Blockbuster died for Best Buy. It wasn't as popular in the 2000s, mainly just the 90s.
It's the same first 2 letters. Best Buy, Blockbuster.
What the dude, you're fucking blowing this shit wide open. But how does it all relate back to Fortnite? What is Mr. Fortnite doing? What are they cooking up with Blockbuster's corpse?
What is Epic Games doing right now?
Dude, I don't know. Do they have like a phone number we can call, or like a website, like whatisepicgamesdoingrightnow.org?
They do have a phone number, but they never answer.
Shit, Gavin, rockets! We're getting too close to cracking the conspiracy! Oh, I see him. I got him, that was the last guy. Dude, we fucking earned it. We're about to win this game, man, and then we're coming after Blockbuster next. You're getting shot at from 255?
I'm legit scared. Are you scared?
I'm fucking pissing my pants, man. These britches are soaked right now from the fear of Blockbuster.
I'm aged.
Direct south.
I'm aged.
I'm pushing up on him, cover me.
Brush. Yeah, he's weak. I hit him with my snipe.
I got him.
If I hit that.
He's down, one down. Let's push. Do you have a jump pad?
Wait, I need to use these bandages. I'm aged. And
Circuit City, I should have definitely brought up that old ghost.
bro, if I hit this, I'm aged.
I don't know what that means. What does I'm aged mean?
One shot.
Fuck this. Oh, we got him! That's my fucking boy right there, Gavin. We just single-handedly brought down Blockbuster and Circuit City. What's up, everybody? It's Critical. I want to talk about something very serious today. In many ways, this will probably be the most serious video I've ever made. It's something very near and dear to my heart. And I'm sure many of you are already familiar with the controversy, the conspiracy, if you will. I know I'm a little tardy to the party on this subject, but it's the Berenstein versus Berenstain Bears. Now, I'm sure many of you, like me, remember these beloved children's books as the Berenstein Bears, but apparently it's always been the Berenstain Bears by Stan and Jan Berenstain, not Berenstein. And that's just barren bullshit. I know it was Steen because I used to have to write a weekly book report on a different Berenstein Bears book each week, and it was always Steen in my report. And, strangely enough, I used to actually pronounce it Berenstain, but I was constantly corrected by the teacher and my parents saying, "Charlie, take that Brillo pad out of your fucking mouth and say it the correct way or you're not getting food tonight. It is Steen, not Stain." So eventually I learned that it was Steen, and I used to eat Brillo pads, but that's a conspiracy theory for a different day. And the reason I even thought it was Stain to begin with was because I didn't know the sounds E-I-N would make, and it was very close to the ending to Stain, which was A-I-N, and Pain, which was A-I-N, so I thought it would make the same sound. So the fact that they're trying to say it's always been shit stain bears is just absolute nonsense, because that is absolutely wrong, and that has been drilled into my head that it was never Stain and has always been Steen. Now, let's see where this all started. In 2012, someone made a blog post talking about how they'd come to the realization that it's always been the Berenstain Bears, and they'd talked to everyone they knew, and they always knew it as the Berenstein Bears, and he said the only logical explanation for this is that our universe overlapped with a parallel universe, and a lot of very subtle changes occurred, one of them being Steen changed to Stain. However, he neglected to mention that I was also directly affected with this overlapping. I used to have a 9-inch dick, I know that for a fact, but now I'm left with just the standard 6-incher. But that's alright, I guess, because the bigger issue here is this Berenstein Bears issue. And then this really caused a lot of outrage, like a lot of confusion, because the majority of people remember it as the Berenstein Bears. In fact, a very small percentage know it as Stain Bears. So how can so many people have such vivid memories of it being Berenstein and not Berenstain? Well, it's called the Mandela effect, and the Mandela effect is basically when a large number of people have very, very clear memories that they know and are certain have happened, but in reality have not happened. And it gets its name from Nelson Mandela, whom many believe died in prison, when in reality, that is false. So the conspiracy gained traction and got a lot of attention, so much so that the son of Stan and Jan Berenstein commented on the blog post saying, "Hey, come on, pussy farts, cut the monkey business, stop it, you silly sailors. It's always been Berenstain, not Berenstein. They all want to pronounce it Steen, but it's Stain. Ever since I was a kid, they call me Steen. It's Stain, though. Just by applying Occam's razor, it's just you've all misheard it and misread it your whole lives, and you're just dumb people. And Occam's razor is just the simplest solution is the right one. It's that way of thinking. Cut off everything you don't need. You're left with the simplest solution, which is the correct one. So that's the official explanation for this whole debacle, that we've all just misheard or misread it our whole lives, and that we're just wrong. But I don't necessarily believe the parallel universe theory, but I do think there is something awry here, because I know it wasn't Stain. I wouldn't have these memories of me feeling very stupid by saying Stain when it was Steen. It's a fucking complicated situation, and Berenstain fucking sucks as a name. Sounds like a knockoff of the real Berenstein, where the Berenstain Bears get into some shady shit. Berenstain Bears, big honeys about to nut. Berenstain Bears, trouble with the drug cartel. Berenstain Bears, forget their condoms. It's just, that doesn't work. Berenstain Bears sounds like the international celebrated treasure that it is. So I decided to do my own research to try and blow this case wide open, to crack this nut. So I went on Wikipedia to see who published the Berenstein Bears when, and then my plan was to go on archive.org and use the Wayback Machine to go to the publishers' websites from back in the 90s and see when it was what it was listed as, whether it was Steen or Stain on their catalogs. But I discovered something very disturbing, something that I'm pretty sure has landed me on a list, and I wouldn't be surprised if book assassins came to my door right now. So it turns out, if you search any of the publishers' websites, any of them, and you go through their catalog, you will not find the Berenstein or Berenstain Bears anywhere on there, which is bizarre considering in the 90s and early 2000s, that's when it was in its prime and really selling like a motherfucker, so it's weird that it wouldn't be on their website. But luckily you can find the Dick King Trivia Contest, which unfortunately I missed the deadline for. Would have really loved to have entered that one. But there is no mention of the Berenstein or Stain Bears until you get into around 2005 on the publisher's websites, where it is on the front fucking page, Berenstain Bears. It's incorrect there. That's unfortunate. But what really gives me the heebie-jeebies, in a sense that there's definitely something amiss here, is that you just can't find the Berenstein or Stain Bears on any old website where there's books. I've checked libraries too, old library catalogs, and there's no Berenstein or Stain Bears there either. So it's almost as if before the Berenstain Bears switch, whenever that happened, which was around 2005 apparently, they just didn't exist at all. It's just very strange. So I also did a little more research and found a website dedicated to proving that it's Berenstein and always has been in this reality, called BerensteinBears.weebly, and they have a lot of newspaper articles with the Berenstein spelling there, as well as TV program guides that have Berenstein there. And one that I find pretty interesting is this right here. This is a professional textbook, and it has Berenstein listed multiple times in the index. Now that could be attributed to a typo, as well many of these could, but for something like this I find it very unlikely that they'd make the same typo that many times, especially in a professional textbook. They'd really fact check that, as would a lot of these sources, and I decided to go to the Wayback Machine to see if these were photoshopped, and I corroborated the few that I looked at. I didn't want to go through all of them because that's just a fucking extremely tedious task, but I didn't think that was good enough because you can fake a lot of this shit, and especially the ones where you see the piles of books with Berenstain on them, that could easily be photoshopped. But one piece of evidence that I really find could be the deciding factor in this case is this right here. This clip, this little clipping, this excerpt, where it has Berenstain spelling as well as the book title there. But if you zoom in, you just can't make out if it says Stain or Steen. But if you could somehow get that enhanced enough where you could actually read it and you could see the spelling, that would once and for all settle the debate on Steen versus Stain. But for now, I'm going to keep knowing that it is Berenstain, and anything short of that, I just will not accept. I would rather watch the world burn to ash than accept that it has always been Berenstain Bears. So, I know I'm really chiming in on this subject way after people have already forgotten about it, but this has really altered my universe. It has crashed what I thought was my universe. In fact, I'm pretty sure the universe has stopped expanding now. So, yeah, that's about it. See ya. Oh, hey, thanks for coming. Wow, you look good. I can tell you showered with Cheeky, didn't you? Used Cheeky.com and got the best soap on the planet? You made a really wise choice. Come on in! Do you see how everyone was flaming Katy Perry for her tweet after coming back from her 4-minute trip to space? First of all, 11 minutes. Second of all, yeah. I also went down the rabbit hole because I've been so glued to conspiracies recently, especially after the gay beams, of people thinking the Blue Origin trip was faked. Oh, wait, it was on Twitter. There's a lot of TikTokers that are going over how it was faked, but here, actually, I can show you a piece of it. There's a YouTube channel that did one. And like all of the satanic imagery.
The annals of space travel. 6 women, powerful, famous, and fierce, soaring into the so-called final
Freddy's in
frontier
Dead by
on Blue
Daylight?
Origins
Cool.
in his 31 flight. Among
And yeah, we
them,
went over the CIA
none other
document
than pop
as real.
sensation Katy Perry, media titan Gayle King, and Jeff Bezos' skybound sweetheart Lauren. On the surface, it's a feel-good mission wrapped in empowerment and science fiction nostalgia. But beneath...
Okay, I'm not going to bother playing the whole thing. But basically, they take the footage and say it's CGI. Let me just pull up the TikToker. It's been so fascinating. Now, don't get me wrong. I think the space tourism is cringe. It was cringe when Jeff Bezos did it. It's cringe now. But I am glued to the conspiracies of how it's faked. It's so good. Here.
Oh my god, did you guys see Katy Perry went to space in the flying dildo? You know, the same Katy Perry that's constantly tossing up Illuminati signs and subliminal programming in her music videos? Yeah, I'm sure she's not a part of any demonic plan. Have a look at this takeoff video. What an interesting shape they fucking chose, eh? What an interesting shape they chose for the... It's so funny, bro. You guys got me going. Yo, let's see how this looks. This looks
clearly AI.
So real.
Yeah.
So look at this.
Only sheep believe in rockets.
Yo, who's buying this? Please, if you're buying this, put it in the comments because we want to make fun of you. Look at this. You guys think this is real? Just shut her up in this big dildo. Did also notice something
absolutely
very
not
interesting on the suit.
Now this is real though. He's calling attention to like the very important stuff.
She was wearing. Here you can see it up. That looks like the Baphomet. This is the entity that, once again, the satanic elites, the Illuminati, tossing the Illuminati eye, they worship. I don't know if you guys knew this, but the Baphomet is the symbol for the Church of Satan, a figure generally associated with occultism, paganism, and Satanism. Also a symbol of the Church of Satan. Find it hilarious how they chose this shape too. It's like they can't laugh at you guys any harder. They can't put it in your face any more clear. But there's still people out there that are like, yeah, sweet, Katy Perry went to space. Fucking rights, thank you, Elon Musk, that's awesome.
Not Elon Musk, by the way, it's Jeff Bezos. It's his program, but who cares? I mean, that's another Baphomet lie, most likely. Clearly.
Great job, Katy Perry, you are our hero. When really this lady is a puppet for the devil-worshipping elites.
At some point I'll catch up on it,
You guys are being played for the biggest fools on this planet. Because you are. You know, sometimes when I make these videos, they gotta come from the ego. Because I genuinely need to show you people how stupid you are to believe all of NASA's lies. You have to be incredibly stupid. None of it is real. This is the truth. Oh my...
Oh wait, I didn't catch that last part. Oh wow. This is the truth? Damn. That's eye-opening stuff. But yeah, I saw a lot of these floating around. These are so fucking cool. This is another banger.
Good evening, everyone. Just wanted to do a really quick video on this staged Katy Perry to space hoax.
Here, I'll skip to the smoking gun.
Out of her
Bang!
her mouth, but really her heart.
And is that Jeff Bezos out there right by the capsule? Kind of hard to see.
That is correct. That is Jeff Bezos, our founder, on the left, as well as Sarah Knights, our crew member 7.
Okay, guys, did you see that?
I saw
Let's
it.
Go back and watch it one more time. Okay, now I want you to watch the hatch door open from the inside. The lady runs over there real quick, says, no, 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 shuts the door back, tries to stand in front of it. And then, actually, she
Not
starts
fooling
laughing
us.
about it, as you can see right here, because, like I said, it's all staged. It has to look like it's open from the outside.
Yeah. Bet you didn't know it was all fake yesterday. Cringe, yes. Fake, also yes. They think we're idiots. That we wouldn't see the Baphomet imagery. You have to go through a body scanner and turn gay to go to space. Okay, well first of all, they didn't go to space. And second of all, yes. There's gay beams everywhere. Jeff Bezos wouldn't risk turning his wife gay, so they had to fake it. Yeah, you're so right. That's what it was. Yeah, pretty much anything that happens in the world now, I go out of my way to find the conspiracies around it. The truth tellers. It's so fun. Like, it's hard to even be mad at them. It's just kind of adorable. I love it, man. Have they said why it's fake? No. They don't need the why. They just need to know that it's fake. And prove that it's fake. That's all. Because Satan. Well, that's probably why. Because it's what Satan demanded.